meeting to order. On the agenda, need to add a number 9 down there. It's in reference to a 90-day raise for an employee, and also discussion of a part-time employee. Is there any other that needs to be added to?
Well, I guess since we were told yesterday that we are supposed to do something in the public.
Absolutely not. The law is clear on it. That's what happens when you have an accountant practicing law. I'm sorry that happened. That's what's criminal. You plan it, you conduct it, you hear all reports on an alleged crime in closed session. That is the law.
Well, that's what we've done, right? We
Yes,
did
that's
do
what you
that.
do.
We followed the
You
law.
planned it, you conducted it, and you heard reports.
And
This is criminal.
the only other time that would have came out would have been if they was any
If you had chose,
found ground.
if you chose to turn it over to the district attorney's office.
Right. Okay. With that being said, approval.
The law's clear. You
Mhm.
plan it, you conduct it, you hear it.
So as far as number 9, Steve,
Number 9.
the 90-day raise and the part-time employee,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to add an employee's time to that too.
I didn't catch that. What'd she say? Bud's time?
I'm ready to just right after taking it. No question asked. It's not gonna die.
He's been paid.
I know.
With the addition of
Well, I know. We'll just wait on that.
with the addition to the add-on of number 9, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the addition.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular board meeting August the 4th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve August the 4th, 2021's minutes.
I'll second.
Unanimous.
August the 12th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Yeah, unanimous.
August 31st, 2021.
I think it needs to be revised. In that section where it speaks of us talking to the attorney in closed session, we did,
That needs to be eliminated. Recommendations for the town employee time card needs to be deleted. For you to reflect under employee
there
time
was no
cards.
fraud.
No. Under employee time cards. Let it reflect that any criminal investigation is planned, conducted, and heard in closed session. That's how I would amend it. Any criminal investigation is planned, conducted, and heard in closed session.
You're taking something out or you adding? I didn't catch it. What do you want removed or?
She didn't hear you.
Remove it all under employee time cards. Delete it.
The employee time
Other
card
than
section
just-
that the auditor made a recommendation? You want
The
deleted?
auditor cannot practice law. What I said to put on your employee time cards Any criminal investigations planned, conducted, and heard in closed session. That is the law.
That's
So
what
that's
you
what
want
it can
wrote
be
down.
saying.
That's what you want wrote down.
Yeah, criminal investigations are planned, conducted, and heard in closed session.
Okay, so to that paragraph, you want that sentence added.
No,
No.
delete the rest, delete everything, except the sentence that I gave.
Criminal investigation is conducted.
Are planned, conducted, and heard in closed session.
Is there a motion?
I'll entertain a motion to adopt August 31st with, the striking of everything under the employee time card with the addition to when the attorney advised us to, place under the employee time card. Entertain a motion for August 31st town hall meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept it. But I'm not gonna sign off on it until we see.
I'll second.
I oppose.
Alright,
Come in your seat, Karen.
at this time, have public comment.
It's up to you.
Make a motion to open public comment.
I'll second.
Is it unanimous?
I'm in the
Hey, don't
public
forget.
comment.
Okay.
I'll move this wrong.
No, that's okay. I'm right here. You just said when.
When?
Go ahead. When we talked before, when I was wanting to do the sewer line down there, did y'all ever make any decisions about helping out on that?
As far as helping out, we will, from the main, we'll send one length of pipe as we do for anybody else. We
Okay,
can do that.
all right, okay. The next thing, since, y'all voted on doing the ditch down there,
Yes.
okay. And so far, we're not going to get it done because both me and
Yeah.
Aldermen are working. And this is gonna sound awful, but I don't mean it to be. Before y'all came in office, the people that were in office before y'all, they voted in the trailer park to put that water line through there. It never happened. Okay?
Mhm.
So, is there some way?
So is it a new water line?
Yeah.
It's,
And I mean, I've got a copy of the minutes.
I
it's,
wouldn't honor that.
I seen them in it.
that makes a loop connection between, Ford Street and up there in front, that connects up our sidewalks in front of their business.
You see, and whenever I bring it up, it was always no money, okay? Even though it was voted in. So here's my question. Y'all have got an election coming up. And you don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So, have you got some way, or can you put something in, where the writing don't mean nothing? Because it didn't mean nothing on that water line. But how will we know for sure that we're gonna get paid? And because it's the town's fault, you know, that wasn't nothing to do with us. Because that ditch was messed up like it did. So if, just per se, something changes, how are we gonna know for sure that we're gonna get paid?
paid for what?
for doing the ditch line.
Oh, for the ditch line,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
saying if situations were to be like where that water line was voted in and it didn't happen, even though it's in the minutes, it didn't happen. And y'all voted to take care of the ditch.
Mhm.
So if something were to happen, how do we know that that won't happen again?
Well, I think by all three of us and even the mayor, what we signed off on with y'all, we will uphold.
But she's saying if we don't get back in office.
Right, but it was already, it's already budgeted out to it. It's already in our line items. It has to be.
What's your thoughts on that, Ellie?
It was before it.
Yeah, I know, but see, I'm speaking for us.
I know, but I'm
And
saying.
those are, I, from my perspective, I think there ain't one of us that would
No,
not let it
I
be
know
done.
you wouldn't, don't get me wrong, I know you would not. But the people that were here before y'all, that made that decision down there, that hadn't been followed up by y'all.
We didn't know nothing about it.
Well,
If you would've
Steve
came
did.
to us from the
Steve
first.
did. You knew
That was
that.
promised, Bobby Smith promised.
Yeah, you knew about it, they may not have, but you did.
And I'm sure whenever we all did take the office and we had all of that placed upon us,
Oh, I know you
I
can
think
do
it
that,
just
man.
kind of
Don't
just,
get me
you know, we had so much laid in our laps that
Right,
we were just trying to just get above surface.
I understand
And
that.
I think that's
And
maybe why
this, and this
Steve's
is
never
not throwing
mentioned it.
blame, this is just saying that,
What we could do is, just basically awarding the construction to it and have another piece of paper that guarantees it. And we've got it in the budget to pay him already.
Can we do that, Ellen?
Like he signs an agreement that he's gonna do the work and we sign,
For whatever amount that was that we agreed to.
yes.
No, I mean, that was the amount we agreed to.
That was his bid, we got his
And
bid.
that was, you know, no more, no less. That was, you know, what we agreed to, so.
so I realize that.
Yeah.
I realize, but I'm backing up what was agreed, so I'm just saying, I think,
just
that-
wants-
I don't think y'all have got a thing to worry about, but I'm saying.
She just wants to
it's
guarantee the next board will
Yeah.
honor it, is what she's asking.
Yeah.
Thank
If
you.
it don't get done
Yeah.
between that, we leave off.
I want some assurance.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, I would like to think that if we don't make it,
That they would
that our
honor it.
financial officer would write that check out because it's already in our budget and hand it to us. That's what
I'd have more authority if the other board didn't want to approve it, if the work had not already been done underneath this board. So if the new board doesn't want to approve it, I'll have no authority to write that check out.
That's what I'm getting at right there. That's the point right there.
Promise. What if-
Because you know that I've been arguing with the town since 2012 over this. And y'all have finally, you know, seen and agreed for us to get it taken care of.
Could the work be done before November?
I doubt it. I mean, it should have been done, but the way the situation was and those had men working and then men quitting and these men were off working and they've not been here. So, but usually you don't have an election this quick either.
It's been 4 years.
Has it been 4 years?
It's been 4 years.
so Ellen, what's your thoughts on it?
binding successive boards to commitments is not something that you can do with a guaranteed promise. You hope that the successive board will honor the budgeted item. You've done the best you can do, you budget for it, you've accepted a bid, it should be honored. But I don't know that you can promise someone that there wouldn't be a budget amendment. You know, if you make a budget amendment, pull that out because you've had an emergency. So, do your best, do your best. And if it's a lot.
I promise you, I didn't come up here
Oh, that's
to
fine.
be a smart aleck on this, but it's something that's been on my mind and I thought, well, Here's September, here's November, so just in case.
I mean, all we can do is hope if we don't get back in office that they will honor it. I don't know anything else that we can do unless he starts working on something and we can pay him some money up front or half, whatever.
So,
But I don't know. I mean, I don't have a clear answer for you. But I would hope that if we don't get back in, the one that replace our seats would honor that.
I don't see why they wouldn't, you know?
But I'm afraid that's the best that we can
well,
do.
see,
Yeah.
and y'all didn't know about that other, but it's still not been done. So,
And that's been 8 years.
huh?
That's been nearly 8 years. 9 years going on.
Yes, that's a long time. You see, this is where I come, where the town has taken care of the other trailer parks, but has done nothing for ours except mess it up. Because of what we let the town do, it messed ours up, so. So right now, there's no assurance if something were to change, that
Let's
it
vote
can be
and get
done.
started on fixing it.
But we would hope under good conscience they would honor it.
Now, when the vote gets in, starts on it, can that bind the,
Agreement?
Well, it's like any contract, you let the bid to this person. And if he gets started on it, you pay him for their portion of work.
If you did
So once
that,
it
you know that
starts-
it's gonna get paid for the rest of it.
He needs to get going on it. Binding boards, it's a toughie. Some boards will honor, but you can't say to the resident that's gonna happen.
We can just
You know,
hope that they honor it and we
If
just
you let the bid, you have an amount, it's been budgeted. So, he needs to get going on it.
What would be the will of the board?
There's nothing we can do until something's
Yes.
done.
Not for something,
But we're in public comment. Yeah, so you know.
but I mean.
We can just hope that if we don't get back in office, our successors would honor the bid and the work. I know that's probably not the answer you was wanting, but we can,
No, I was really wanting some definite assurance. That's what I was wanting. Cause it's awful to say that we live in an age where you can't depend on things, but you really can't. And, if y'all stay here, there'll be no problem. But if you don't, there may be a problem.
Any further comment?
motion to close public comment.
second?
Oh, second. Easy.
Entertain a motion to open up public hearing for the advertisement of hazard control.
I'll make a motion of public hearing for Annex Safety Patrolling.
Second,
Unanimous. Not that I thought maybe that's what they was.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Okay. we're ready for you guys.
Yeah, certainly appreciate you guys giving us a bit of time here. I know you've got quite a bit to cover. I'm the general manager of Hackney Petroleum. So you guys know we've been in that site currently where we're sitting at for decades now, and we just wanted a chance to sort of revitalize that location. But we've realized that in order for us to grow in what we're wanting to do with our own brand, most of you may have noticed that we've removed the Aztecs Fuel and Food Centers from that site, and now it became the local market. That's exactly what we're wanting to do, is to be a little bit more part of the community. In order for us to do that and sort of expand on what we want to offer you all here within this community and others, we needed a larger lot. So I think it was a fair assessment on our end to sort of move across the street for a larger piece of property. And again, we've sort of taken this approach that within all of our sites, whether it's in North Carolina or Tennessee, we've got to do a better job of being part of the community. And with the current lot, it's just not feasible, very little small parking spot. And we definitely want to take part in, we do this successful event in Knoxville. It's called Kidorific, which is right about the start of the school year. We get some vendors to sort of promote and give away parts of, I guess, backpacks and school supplies for kids to go in. And again, I think that lot there alone will give us those chances to do and enhance it within Robbinsville. So that's, and with that, we also understand, again, being part of the community, in terms of taxes and all that, it can all benefit all of us here if we are annexed to the city, because now, we're more responsible and we're taking up a little bit more room and more space. But again, we just want the local market, our new brand, to actually mean something and not just put it at face value, but we got to have actions behind it as well. So,
Used to be the only 24-hour store in the town, and that might help if you want to make it 24 hours.
yeah, and we've entertained that idea as well. Speaking with Deborah, our store manager there as well, she's mentioned that there's very little food opportunities on that side of town. Everyone sort of is going to come in, and for us, again, that site, the Huddle House, will give us an opportunity to expand and provide the town with some food service options as well. So, and look, we're not. I'm glad I'm hearing that from you. I think that's something we definitely would take into consideration. So, absolutely.
I think it's a positive move for you guys and actually for the community, because it's a good place, kind of like in the middle.
So you're going to start serving food again?
We will, yeah.
We used to have real good pizza up there.
Yeah, and with our expansion of the local market, we are really focusing on food service. But again, with our current site, the parking situation is just not feasible. It's so tight. It's tight and it's outdated. So moving across the street to the Huddle House just gives us that opportunity to serve the community in those terms.
And I can say, myself being I used to work in Hackney, 207 Andrew in Tokyo. And I can say that Hackney always for the public, and they look after their employees.
Well, we certainly appreciate you mentioning that. Thank you.
And all. And it's a big welcome to y'all for becoming part of Town Robbinsville.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Anyone else to speak on that section?
Is anybody else got anything they need to say about the annexation of Hackney Petroleum? Nothing. Do we need to? That's out.
They come out.
Close.
Yeah.
Make a motion to close the public hearing on the
Second.
annexation.
What's that reaction?
decide. You can vote right away and wait till the next meeting.
We can vote this meeting.
You can vote this meeting.
We just need to make a motion to, accept
Except
it.
the annexation.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the annexation of Hackney Petroleum.
I'll second that motion.
It's unanimous.
And I'll prepare an ordinance. You all sign it and record it in the courthouse.
Soon do you guys think that you will be starting to move into that and
Well, I can tell you it's relatively quickly. And again, I know this doesn't really portray to you all here in Robbinsville, but we're making some changes in Andrews and as well in Franklin. And we don't want to sit on that property currently, ours a huddle house. And it's not to say it's an eyesore by no means at this very moment, but we cannot take the approach and let it sit the way it is for nearly a year.
Right.
So I'll tell you that it's within months that we'll get to work on that.
that's
Okay.
That's fine, that's good to hear.
And say welcome to the town.
Thank you.
Welcome to Robbinsville.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, going into old business. Town hall mode issue update. We still not got we've got one temporarily connected, one not totally, there. Chad is questioning about where the, one floor plan is back here in the back corner, where one is, about the drainage deal, but I told him that did because it was just humidified vapor, and it was just water and all, and it is, that's just a constant drain to the outside. So he will be getting that here done. And
And on
that way we
this-
can take that off the,
And on the sidewalk stuff, Tim's got a few projects ahead for this one. He was hoping to start about a week or so ago, but he's trying to finish up some projects to finish the outside part of it.
But he told me yesterday he was just planning to start at the first of the week.
Okay.
next is the golf cart tags update. On the tags and then inspection things, those just have to be ordered. And, I was needing to know from y'all how you might want it. Do you want Robbinsville put on the tag itself stating,
No, you do adopt an ordinance.
We got the ordinance.
I had a trouble in the table.
but
Yeah,
I
start tax noise down.
I need this information on Tommy. What needs to be said, you want the town seal or just put Robbinsville on special sticker so I can have a price for y'all to know what it's gonna cost the town in order to get said plates and inspection sticker little things that they've been inspected. And all, just want the town seal put on it or just say Robbinsville, you want Robbinsville on the little tag or whatever. So I can get prices because, order a blank tag with some numbers on it cheaper than you can with putting Robbinsville on it, is what I'm saying. Because I know the first thing the board don't want to know is, well, we need the price. How much is it going to cost? Well, I need to know kindly the
So
path
you're
that
just
we know
laying
we're
out the
traffic.
grounds for us to see how much it's gonna cost so that we can
Right,
decide.
because you got to know that price in order to,
Just saying Robbinsville on it's fine with me.
Yeah, me too.
on the little detail that is being inspected and also
Just the Robbinsville logo that we use.
anything else on the golf cart tax stuff?
What we're gonna do, we gotta pass the ordinance.
Okay,
Until we hear all the prices and everything, we can't really decide.
okay. So, for next month, and I'll have these prices here for you. Okay.
We
Okay,
can just leave that at the main table for next
Mhm.
month.
okay. Next on the sale of surplus items, bids and donations. Got one bid.
Maybe, I don't think you have to say a name until they have voted on it.
This here's for the video TV. Gonna bid for $20. And that's the only bid that we received on any of the property.
And with that being said, we accept the bid, the rest of the items are donated to, I think it's listed, Grace Extended Ministries. If we accept that bid, correct.
I second that. You made
I-
a motion. to
Was that your
accept.
motion?
No, I was just making sure, you know,
Yes.
if we accept the bid.
Is there a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion to accept the bid for the TV and donate the rest of it to the Grace Ministry.
It's great, the one down
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll second.
The video TV sold, the
Yeah,
rest to be donated.
yes.
Okay. Son, here's the
That's when
bid.
you state the name. State the name. of the winner bid.
It went to Amy Johnson. American Red Cross Funds update.
Okay, so last week we received the COVID American Refund, the ARP funds. The town had been estimated that we may receive 95,000 each, one payment this year, one payment next year, but instead we received $101,000 and $505. Okay, so now I know we've mentioned this several times, but with this money, it's come from the federal government to the state to the town. So we're going to be audited on these, how we spend this money, and we're very restricted. We have about 4 ways that we can spend this money. And of course, the board can vote on how to do this today, or they can wait until 2024 to spend this money. But at 2024, we have to turn it back in. So there's only a few ways that this municipality would be able to spend it. One is for loss of revenue. For example, for 3 months we had to we were not able to shut off any water, and we were not able to charge any late fees. So that late fees for us totaled that we lost $8,000. $8,300 we will be able to put back in to our funds. We would also be able to give employees premium pay, and we would be able to pay for infrastructure. But it's very restricted on how we do. So what I did is I did a proposal of a way that the board could use these funds. Of course, it's up to the board, and if the board approved to use these funds, then I would send this recommendation to the state and get their approval before we even do it. Because we want that approval before that audit, because I don't want to pay a dime back. So I want to make sure that they are fine with this. So I did put in a proposal of what could be based on their guidelines if the board wanted to review that and think about that. And
That
like I said,
proposal's on the second sheet there.
on the second sheet, yes. Yes, we received that last week.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, that is.
See you later, Solomon. I saw in the paper today that the county had went ahead and voted on how they were gonna spend the money, so I thought I'd go ahead and propose to you in case y'all are ready to go ahead and get on that. And like I said, the state would approve it after you approve it. I wanna send them a proposal of what we plan to do. And once again, we can set the money,
And all of this is in the guidelines that, for this month.
that's the guidelines, yes.
She wants to
So you'll
see
first see the first,
Yeah. You
What's
want to send
that?
them the proposal first before we decide on anything, right?
no, I need you to tell me you're okay with it, and then I'll submit it to the
Oh, okay.
state.
Yeah.
Because I didn't wanna send, I don't wanna send what I recommend, I wanna send what you recommend.
Okay.
Yes, and that right there is based on the guidelines.
Yeah. I mean, I'd make a motion for pending approval.
Is that for the essential workers, for the ones that was employed during that time?
Anything that the town does has to be for employees who are employed right now. So yes, everybody who is employed, we have 16 employees, so this recommendation is for those 16 employees. The allocation is based on the hours that they worked for the last year. That way, that's fair. You know, if you just came in a month ago, you don't get the same portion that somebody that's been here for 12 months would get. And then as you'll see, the water plant, we have 5 water plant employees. They don't qualify for the ARP funds. So with the revenue reimbursement that we're receiving, the board can choose to spend that $8,000 any way they want. So I recommend you divide that out among the water and plant employees who don't qualify because they are not face-to-face with customers. They are not face-to-face with employees. They work by themselves, and the guidelines are very specific on who can qualify. So I think it's very fair. The whole idea about this premium pay for employees is because
I don't know.
How did you,
the whole idea is that your employees have put themselves at risk. And during this pandemic, we never once put anyone on furlough. They worked during the entire time. We did close the office for a short period of time. But it's all according to
We closed the office just to the public, I believe, wasn't it? We closed the office altogether.
a month. I can't.
No, we just had the door locked.
Yeah, we just had to
But we
close
still
Oh, I meant the
had-
town hall. I meant to close the town hall
Yeah.
office.
We closed it to the public.
I think they had, Sonia, they had want to know where you came up with the figures, like the 8,300.
Okay, the 8,300 is the revenue from the late fees that we lost during that 90-day period. I estimated how much late fees we do get each, month, and it was around 2,500, 3,000, and then for 3 months that totaled 8,300. There is a calculation that the state will allow us to do that would give us even more money in that targeted area, based on revenue that's lost. But I didn't go that far because we're water and sewer, and we didn't write off any water and sewer after that 90-day period. Even though our revenue was low after that 90-day period, they still owed that money, so we're still collecting that money. So that's the only loss we had. That 8,300 was late fees that we were not allowed by the state to charge during those 90 days. That was of last year during COVID shutdown.
Yeah.
the other amount? How did you come up with that figure?
8,300?
No, the other amount down.
Oh, well, I pulled it, this is my thoughts. The bottom number is what I felt like we need a cushion in case something else goes on with COVID. We need a cushion. So I felt like that's a good cushion right there. That means if we need masks or supplies or possibly if something else happens COVID related, because I don't know what's happening with COVID. So the top number and the bottom number I knew, and I just plugged that middle number. But
That's
we
what
can
was
move
left.
it all the way around
Basically,
anywhere.
that's what was left.
And then you see you get another 100,000 next year in June, and then that will be spent the way you choose to. You know, you could. I think we should wait and receive that money and then vote on that.
Okay.
But it could be that you want to spend it at the water plant if we can go ahead and get that water plant grant. But you know, in the meantime, until we get that, that's a moot point right now. We need to get that approved.
So in essence, what her proposal is the 5 employees at the water plant divide
Five.
by 5, which would be 1,600 and some change
After taxes,
after tax.
you divide it. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll pay.
And then 11 employees into 60,000 would be $5,454
Based on the hours they
based
worked
on the hours
last year.
that they worked.
So if you have a brand new employee, he's certainly going to get less than.
And that's just a one-time. That's just a one-time
One-time shot.
check.
It's a bonus,
It's a bonus, like.
a stimulus pay that the
Stimulus
state is
bonus.
allowed, called premium pay.
Just my thoughts on it. The top number for the 83, do you not think we need to bump up a little bit more in that in case there is another?
I have no way
Area.
of changing the 83. The water plant doesn't qualify for any. The 83 is strictly the lost revenue, and we're allowed to spend the lost revenue in any way that we want. The 83 is a set number. Oh,
I thought
different-
she said she had different ways of calculating that, and that's what she's done one to get to 83. And then,
Mom, I could pull that down if I could get that 83 up. The reason I went with 83 because it's a clean number. Nobody can argue it. That's what you know.
okay,
Like I
was
said,
just asking.
Like I said, they could say we lost revenue. We might could say it if you compare the last 2 years. The truth is, we didn't lose it because we're going to collect it. That's why I say there's a calculation out there, but I don't even dare touch it because they look at it. Our customers do pay, you know, are going to eventually have to pay or go to collection. So
I'd like to look into it more, son.
you'd like to what?
Look into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You'd like to look at what we put that in
I'd
front of you?
like to look into this more, do some more
Yes.
research on
Yes.
So table it to next month.
it. Yeah.
Elder Branch survey. Still have not received no type of, I've even went and knocked, done a knock on the door. You can't get nobody. So just assume if I can get in touch with, Mr. James's wife, it's done and everything, just needing the map is all I need. Cause everything is been done on his side. Any more old business come? New business, mayor update, yesterday morning, we received the CDBG sewer, grant. This year's been a long time. Myself and McKeel and associates and everything, we walked this line and left to stomp 2 dump truck loads of dirt down in amongst the sewer line down there. And all, pictures and everything. We got a grant for $1,724,000. And, that is projected to start some surveying stuff could start this year. but it's projected to finish in 24. But this section here will go very quick. It's basically no right of way because this here will be done. We've already got easements down through there, so it's gonna be quick. It's straight shot from manhole to manhole, and I don't foresee it taking to 24. That's whenever the grant's good for though, and that is kindly saddled with the extension of phase 2 of the water plant that Swallowing is. And all, but that's $1,724,000. And that's full grant money. That's no money coming out of pocket. Finance update.
Okay,
Could I just add that on page 11, for the grant, they're the deadline, timelines.
Yes.
Like you've got one October 25th coming up.
Mhm.
Um, And the end time on the grant is December 2024, but the deadlines are for way before then.
Oh yeah,
I
oh
mean,
yeah.
they expect things to be in place,
Mhm.
completed by May of 2022 is what I read.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
and then a mayor has asked the attorney to review that contract, and he'll sign it once he's
Yeah.
approved it. Okay, so finance update. Oh, I got this for y'all. I thought since y'all have so much information, I'll just hand it out to you.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, so the first thing is your budget versus actual for June 31st, 2000, our first month out of our year. We know that we've been paying our property taxes and property insurance, and our workers' comp insurance in full on the first month. So it makes our numbers look a little harsh, but we will catch up. We will continue to collect taxes. So in the general fund, right now we have a negative $31,523 balance. We have spent more than we have brought in. With the water and sewer fund, we have a negative balance of $400,240. Where the exact same thing happened last year because I paid the property insurance and the workers' comp insurance in full at the first of the year. I could prorate it out for your finance purposes, but I think it's good to go by a cash balance type budget for us to look at what we actually brought in, what we actually spent. Okay, so as you know, me and Steve went to Boone and we went for that training for the new CDBG grant, and we both got our certification. And I wanted to mention to the board that they are aware that with the COVID, my reporting requirements increased. With ARP, my reporting requirements increased. With this $1.7 million, my CDBG grant sewer line guidelines have increased, and we're still working on trying to get the $1.6 million for the Tallulah Creek water plant. So I know in the past, this board has approved a dollar raise for every certification, even if it didn't add additional work. So I'm hoping that this board will also consider the same, recognize me too, with the additional work in the certification, because without the certification, I can't sign off the checks. I can't oversee the administrator or the engineer, and it's ultimately our responsibility to make sure that these guidelines are followed, or we will have to pay that $1.7 million back. So I hope the would the board like to address that right now?
Won't be where we board.
So what are you asking?
You want us to
The
give you
same that the other employees got when they reached a certification, a dollar
I think when we
raise.
hired him, or when we took office, we kind of changed that up for every certification that it was.
I have those minutes, and it said that each one will be voted on in an individual basis. You have given 2 employees a dollar raise on that day, and then it says all certification and raises will be voted on by the board individually in the future.
I thought we voted
It was
to do
50 cents
them at a
before.
50 cent.
For the first one and before for the next one.
Yeah.
And so this, I'll read it to you. Debbie made a motion to adjust the current water sewer certification raises for Chad and Carrie Stewart for $1 per certification, 50 cents for the next certification, biology wastewater grade 1, and then 25 cents for their third last certification.
Those
All
were for $1
certifications and raises will be,
some that they had done before they took,
Yeah, before we come out.
took office.
Mhm.
Yeah. They had just never got approved. And we went ahead and agreed to approve what the other board had done, and then we kind of lowered that.
so is the board considering a different amount for me because of the additional work?
What was it, 50 cents?
Yeah, that's what we agreed on.
Yeah.
Okay, is that a motion?
No motion.
That concludes your finance update.
No, so that died with no motion. And then the next thing is our late fees. So as you know, the board increased late fees, or changed late fees, I shouldn't say increased, because it was 5%, and now it is $15. I had recommended this 2 years ago, so I went ahead and went back and did the numbers for if we had have done it 2 years ago. So we increased in June 2021, we had late fees of equaled $987. After the increase in July 2021, it went up to $3,480. And in August, after the increase, it went up to $3,825. If we had done this 2 years ago, that would equal $68,000. I just think that's really important to notice that we only have 20% of our employees that pay late, and we hate to make the 80% that do pay on time be held accountable for that. Okay, the next thing is your water usage. So as we said before, right now the state doesn't want to give us the Toowood Creek water plant because we are not accounting for all of our water usage. As they have said, we don't want you to produce more water if you can't, be held accountable for the water that you are producing. So 2021 report I have in front of you. This is a report I started back in 2018 when Randy Welch came here to do the water study. He said then, you have a significant water loss, and we haven't been able to track that or get that up since 2018. At the end of 2021, 6/30/2021, our average was 49%. Well, that equals $84,000 that we're losing, and that is only the cost to produce that water. If we are losing water that should have been billed out, example, meters that aren't working, then that revenue would be even more than 84,000, of course, because we bill out more than what it costs to produce the water because we have other overhead. Okay, so I thought let's look and see now that they did replace those meters. They only have 4 meters right now that they need to replace for this month, for last month in August. So we looked at the math to see what would that have, if we had called that sooner. So after replacing the water meters that weren't working, we went to 45%, which is a cost of average $1,000 a month, which is $12,060 a year in just cost. But estimated lost revenue, if this cycle is correct, we've lost $87,469 a year just on water that we're not metering. So we really won't hope that these maintenance employees keep the meters on hand so they can replace them as soon as they don't work. Because lost water definitely means lost money.
On that 2-inch meter, we've got one down there waiting on a rebuild kit, and it will be changed out whenever they get that one, whenever it fits in here.
Sonia, on that water it's not accounting for, you've got to figure on how much we're actually losing by not selling that water. No, that's just.
No, I did not calculate that yet, but I'm sure to get that for you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Sharon Edmiston called a meeting with me and her staff. She has some issues she wanted to talk over with about the town. And during that conversation, she had talked about some allocations and then making sure that we're allocating certain expenses out of the general fund to the water and sewer fund, because the water and sewer fund is supposed to operate as a business, which means they need to pay for all of their expenses. I got you a list. I made you a list right here of things that she wants to make sure that we allocate out. I'm proposing that we allocate it out at 50%. That's the mayor's salary, the mayor's expenses, the council's salary, the audit cost, the town hall utilities, the finance director's salary, and the attorney's fees. All of this has been charged to the general fund, and we need to allocate a portion, I'm saying 50%, over to the water and sewer fund. That's $80,741. So what we're going to have to do, and I asked her, I said, can this wait until the next budget? And she said no, because since water and sewer needs to operate as a business, we need to make sure we're charging the right amount for water and sewer. Okay, so because if you look at them as standalone, they would have to have these expenses. If water and sewer did not have the town general fund, it would have to have a finance director. It would have to have a board. It would have to have possibly an attorney, but it definitely would have to have an auditor. So we're going to half those expenses, and the town has two choices. We can either decrease expenses or we can increase revenue. And when I say water and sewer increase revenue, that means we can raise water and sewer rates. Or, because I truly don't know how we're going to be able to cut the budget. That means our maintenance, our water plant, and the sewer plant this year by $80,000. We've already divided up our employees. We have 4 with the streets, with the maintenance. Everybody else, we went over everyone else's salary, and no one else qualified to be coming over the other way. We have the water plant, of course, the water and sewer. We have the sewer operator, of course, he's sewer. We have utilities billing, of course, he's utilities. So it's only our maintenance. And I explained to her we have those out. We got 4 for sanitation, general fund, and we have 3 for water and sewer. You'll see that streets does pay more for the salaries, but that's the best we could do unless we actually have them. They spend about 9 hours, a week, 3 of them on trash, so majority of their time is water and sewer, we know this, but, so, I'd like to find out, we're gonna do this before the next board meeting, and I'll bring a budget amendment to see how you want to handle this. Does the board
She's
want to
saying
try?
anything we've been in charge of general fund has to be charged between the two.
That's right. This
This would have
is,
been nice to know before we did our budget.
Yeah.
well, we are.
Yeah. I mean,
So
we
now
just
we're gonna
started our
bring you-
budget.
We got-
Why did they do that to us now, after we've
Well,
already?
I know
Why
that,
did they make that meeting?
I know they got a email or a phone conversation where it's questioning whether we're allocating our expenses out. So that's what brought that.
And did we allocate those expenses like this before?
I have not, I have done this exactly the way that it was done the last 28 years.
Right.
Yes.
And so why is it now needing to be allocated in a different route? Because they came and they spoke to us and they've never mentioned this to us before. What's their concern about it now?
Their
This is
concern
what-
is whether we're charging enough for water and sewer rates.
Oh,
Actually, most towns pay the majority of the employees out of the general fund.
Like I said, Sharon Anderson and her staff had a meeting
Yeah,
with me
I'll
and we went
focus
over.
her.
See if we can just schedule a meeting with her.
maybe she needs to come and speak to us.
Well, she
about it.
did say she sounds like she needs to come and talk to us because she really recognized with this signature issue that the board still, board is still not voted on that. So she said it does seem like, because as you know, we are an extension of the state. We answer to the state. We're a municipality answers to the state, so we follow the guidelines. So I just wanted to know how the board wanted to handle this, if they wanted to look over the budget and see if they could cut it by $84,000.
Maybe that's.
Or did you want me to schedule an appointment and have Sharon Edmiston come
If
here?
she could meet with us either by video or whatever.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, that could just go to the water sewer fund, couldn't it?
That $60,000 that's left over of that other.
Yeah.
That she was wanting to.
None of that can be used. Like I said, the only amount you can put in your water and sewer fund is the $8,000, $8,300 of lost revenue. The rest of that money will have to sit in the fund until you have decided how to use it in those 4 categories. That's one of the fears. That's one of the things that they say. Yeah,
And
people.
that's what, that's, I think that's one thing, why they said that this can be a separate audit. Because,
Conference call through this.
Yeah. we
you
can
know,
have a
Zoom,
conference.
Zoom meeting,
And let me give you some information.
Maybe we can do a conference call.
Let's hold off until the board
Yes.
speaks with
Yeah.
Yes.
Ms. Edmonds.
I think she'll be happy to come here except for that COVID
Yeah.
outbreak,
that's
so
just
she
gonna
can do a
have to
Zoom
conference
meeting.
I-
I'll ask her. She
So that's
felt
all-
like it would
that's all
be
the
a good
subject
idea.
right now.
Yeah.
I've reached out to every single town in the entire state, and they make most of their expenditures out of the general fund. I don't understand why Sharon's doing that.
Yeah, I don't either.
And so the
But
next
just,
thing is
Just
the court,
schedule a meeting with her. And
So-
us.
so the next, I will
we
request
need
a
to
meeting.
wait and get this stuff from,
I'll get you.
yeah, okay.
I'll request a meeting with Sharon Edmiston and her staff. Okay, so the next thing is the part-time position advertisement. So, I talked to, the mayor had wanted before to take off high school diploma and GED requirement. And I'd asked the board and they said, no, leave it on there. And you know, a lot of applicants come in and they ask me about that. So it needs to be sure, you know, since we've hired somebody without a high school diploma and GED, I think it's very important that we treat people equally. And so does the board want me to rerun this part-time position without the high school diploma and GED requirement? And then from this point on, always advertise without it? Because it doesn't seem fair to the thousands
Who we
that did not
hired again?
apply.
This board hasn't hired anybody without it.
Sure, the last employee,
The last employee,
yes. Absolutely.
Are you sure?
100%. Let me bring his file. But I'm just saying, do you want me to take it off? 100%. Do we take it off? Or are we going to continue to require it?
I thought we had this.
You did until the last employee.
You might want to do that record first.
Okay, I'll leave it on. Now, I know you've applied for your advertising for a part-time position for the water and sewer department. I wanted to know where we want to cut the budget in order to hire this person. So did I attach the budget versus actual for water and sewer? So in water and sewer department, we're going to want to cut the budget somewhere to make room for this new part-time position that y'all have created.
I think that until we speak with Sharon Edmondson and figure out what's going on with that, we are to not even think about this because we've got to budget that other money in a different way, and this would be coming out of that too, so.
So you're saying you're going to put that
We're gonna
part-time position
table
on
the
hold?
part-time employee thing.
Okay, so the next thing is the garbage truck repairs. I just want to make the board aware that we had to do some maintenance had to do some repairs on the garbage truck. It cost $2,771, which is half of their budget line here in the first of the year. So I wanted to bring that to your attention so that you're aware of it. Full
And it was something that
disclosure.
shouldn't be helped. It was
We
really
have to
good.
have
Code
our-
break, and that runs 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
think it works
update-
more than 3 or 9 hours a week too.
And I wanted to update you on the fire truck sale. And so we did get a bid for the fire truck, but then we didn't have the title. And so I went to check on it, and they said we still have a lien on that property from 1977. So we probably don't owe it. Somebody's probably been sent the title. I checked with the county. They don't have it. Just by chance, they might have it. So I sent a letter to the people that are holding the lien, hoping that maybe they would release us of that 1977 loan, but it just got returned to me, and so I'm afraid we're going to just be stuck with that fire truck, unless anyone else knows any other way to get a
Well,
lien
I
over
checked with
here.
the rescue squad and the fire department, just to chance that they might have it. They checked their
Yes, and
safety deposit box and everything. They said they don't have it.
yes,
They said the county or the town should have it.
and yes, and if it may be in a box downstairs, and if I come across it one day, then
The rescue squad.
I'll let you know.
Check. And the fire department. And
That's
the county.
and that's all I have.
You run into businesses being closed and can't get them canceled. There's a procedure for that. I'm not gonna guess it off the top of my head, but I'll talk to Sonia for the information and check on
Okay,
that.
next
Something
line,
akin to send a 3-letter certified 3 times. And then you could get it in time.
Yeah.
number 3 under new business, the Old Town Hall exterior. Mr. Thomas Murray, came by last week, and, he's got a rental down here, down below, where it connects to the side of the Old Town Hall. Town Hall building exterior joins his building, and you got pictures there of it. Myself and Brian have went down and viewed it. But he got a letter from Red Increase Farm, Danielle Tipton. It says here, she's an outreach and housing specialist, cares and act coordinator, and the information contained in the email message is privileged and confidential, which couldn't see that. But they're basically needing the town to do some structural, probably have it structurally inspected And now, because partial of the building that's in question, the red, wall here, it comes up poured concrete up, and then the bottom level living area starts out with block on top of the concrete going up. There's chunks of the concrete and the mortar and all busted away, chipped away. You got the acid bleed through and everything, and he just wanting if the town will take care of this. They even this was just being him speaking. If maybe with it being to his benefit, maybe if the town would maybe be interested in selling the building to him. So that there is what he left me from the Forest Fire Community Action, needing the
I spoke with him, I went down there, I got a few pictures, I'll get them printed out for you. But, I was gonna have a concrete mason look at and check the integrity of the concrete, because that's what he's worried about. Because that wall outside of town hall is the same wall that holds his building up.
mm-hmm.
That was built probably before any building codes or whatever, and they just built right on top of one another, and they share the same wall. So, and he want me to check the integrity of that concrete to see if it can be fixed or if it's gonna have to come down. And I haven't got it with the concrete, it's the same one that we got to do the drainage issue in the back, and he just hasn't had time. But, I will meet with him again, hopefully, and see if he can check the integrity of the or a structural engineer. I think I can get, Michelle Shipper stuff and look at it.
And he did tell me, I didn't know this. He is an engineer, see?
Mm-hmm. And as far as selling the property, that is another. We have to. We went through a process, right? And you have to show the town that has no need for that property. You know, it'll take 3 months, 3 to 4 months.
And two, you know, he didn't say I want to put a bid in. He just asked you know, just round table discussion. You know, if no, and he has had a problem with a leak prior to. He kind of went up there and issued it basically on our side of the roof. But it's kind of for our roof line overhangs his or something, and it's going down the wall. Okay, the City BG Grant Administrator and Engineering. Have you got that folder?
Oh.
Have you got the folder with our?
I think you're just supposed to make a recommendation to the board, and they're gonna vote.
Yeah, but I need to know the names of them. Have you got that folder before we get
They
You
don't
just gotta
even
have
know.
the one that we chose, or the one that's stored.
Well, that is in that folder that before we done our checklist and stuff.
Right, which is his name, the name is McGill, and the
McGill,
other name is McGill.
And who?
McGill and McGill.
Okay, all right. Myself and Debbie and Chad sat down and graded them and all. And up on the grading, we had to keep that for state purposes too. It was McGill for administrative and also McGill for the engineering.
They're both graded high.
They both graded
Higher
high.
than the other.
And need to I'd entertain a motion to grant McGill and McGill Associates the administrative and the engineer.
Make a motion to take the recommendation that the committee had as McGill and Associate for Administrator and a McGill and Associate for the Engineer for the CDBG grant.
I second that.
So, and so we'll wait until the attorney finalizes her. He'll sign it, and then I'll get in touch with McGill for both.
Okay, next is a resolution in support of, Department of Transportation naming the bridge J.L. Phillips Bridge. It reads as follows. Whereas the North Carolina Department of Transportation desires to adopt the requisite documents necessary to name the new bridge off 129 at Robbinsville High School the J.L. Phillips Bridge. Whereas the North Carolina Department of Transportation desires to have the support of the town council of the town of Robbinsville in naming the bridge J.L. Phillips Bridge. Whereas the town council for the town of Robbinsville has not conducted a public hearing regarding the naming of J.L. Phillips Bridge. Whereas the town council supports the North Carolina Department of Transportation in naming the J.L. Phillips Bridge in memory of outstanding service to the town of Robbinsville by J.L. Phillips. Now therefore be it resolved, the town council, that this resolution be adopted in support of the North Carolina Department of Transportation naming the bridge J.L. Phillips Bridge. Adopted and passed, vote of town council of Robbinsville, state of North Carolina at a regular scheduled meeting held September 1, 2021, and then, signature myself and the town clerk. I'll entertain a motion, to adopt this resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution to name J.L. Phillips Bridge.
We adopted we evidently left the bridge part off of the first one.
Right,
that we did,
yes.
So, yeah, I'll second that.
Unanimous.
If I remember correctly, I believe the attorney said that DOT didn't need the resolution for the second one, so it never did come before the board. Was that unanimous?
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Mini X Bushmaster. This here is kind of like a bush hog. It amounts to our new track hoe. Kind of like access a lawnmower mowing and everything. Got the quote, and quote was for $6,311.93.
And I know the guys need it to help make the streets and stuff better, but until we speak with Sharon Anderson, I'm gonna put that on hold as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I will mention that would be coming out of general fund because all mowing lawnmower does come out of general fund.
I would like to mention something on that. We would certainly like to entertain the idea of donating that to you all if you're open to it.
Okay.
Be wonderful.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would our accounts payable individual need to contact?
I will give you a copy of it in case you need to propose it,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I'll give you my card.
Sure.
And basically, this what it is. It hooks to our new track hoe belt, and it's to mow the road banks off. It's got an arm on it. Some of our city streets really need to open up the street.
Okay. Thank you so much. So contact you, Sonia?
That's me.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay. Lawnmower quote. We've got a brand name grasshopper that we bought used
3 years.
3 years ago. And it has finally nearly died.
It's running.
It's a running, but it kind of looks like somebody that don't have no water license, but it's getting higher. It's kind of high and low and in between and all. But Chad has reached out and got a quote on, I think, 4 different mowers
Yeah.
here. Ranges from $9,300 $7.93. $9,661.03. $12,084.58. $12,459.08. And let's see here. This 4000 series HDX 60-inch cut. This for $12,828. Sell it for $9,364.44. And then goes another one. List for $11,805. Sale for $8,617. And with discount, that'd be, well, with taxes, that'd be $9,220. And that's with a heavy discount to local governments that they the price that they'll sell it straight to the local government.
And I spoke with Chad and I told him, our maintenance director or maintenance supervisor, whatever, he said that he would try to make one last as long as he could. And I mean, they're getting the grass mowed. It's just taking them a little bit longer because they just got one mower. And maybe we can get the meeting with Miss Edmondson before our next meeting, and I would say we wait to make a decision next month.
Yeah, because they don't get cheaper.
And you get them a little bit cheaper.
A little bit cheaper the closer you get into winter.
So.
Okay. That being said, I'm gonna skip to number 9. We've got an employee that is 90 days. That he has completed his 90 days. He's been a phenomenal worker. He's learning every day. He's been operating some machinery, some equipment, track holes and stuff. And his 90 days is up. And I spoke with Chad and our maintenance supervisor, and he said that he's well and good employee, dependable. And I entertain a motion to give him his $1 an hour raise.
Well, we discussed that, and I believe we told him, due to his experience, that he would be able to go up to $1.50
$1.50.
because of his experience working with the equipment and where he has the maintenance skills when he works with the town or the county. That's what we discussed, I believe, was it not? So I'll make that motion at this time.
I'll second that.
Sean?
And number 10, we'll put them up unanimous. You go?
Yeah.
I guess number 10 will be on hold.
And on hold that, yeah. Do we have anything that needs to be discussed in a closed session?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to close this town board meeting for September 1st.
I'll make a motion.
That's one thing we can all agree on. Let's get out of here.